How do we build our cities, grow our economies, and make our lives better without, wrecking the very planet that keeps us alive? That's the huge puzzle we're digging into today. And the solution? Well, it involves three really powerful ideas: ecology, development, and a much smarter way to manage our natural resources.
This is without a doubt one of the biggest questions of our time, and the answer isn't some simple fix. It's actually found where three things meet: our planet's natural systems, our own human drive to make progress, and a really clever framework for making it all work together.
All right, first things first. Let's start with the absolute foundation of all of this, the science of ecology. And as we go, you'll see key terms pop up in both English and Sinhala to help connect the dots. Now, this isn't some brand new idea. The term itself, ecology, was actually thought up by a German biologist named Ernst Haeckel way back in 1866. So what is it really? Well, put simply, ecology is the science of connection. It's the study of how every single living thing, from a tiny microbe to a giant whale, relates to its environment. It's about where they live, how they survive, and how they interact with absolutely everything else around them. And when we say environment, we're talking about the whole shebang. It's the air, the water, the soil, the climate, literally every single external condition that shapes the life, the growth, and the survival of any organism. And our environment, it really has two different sides to it. You've got the natural world, the plants, animals, and water that have been here forever. And then you've got the man-made world, our houses, roads, and schools that we've built right on top of it. The real challenge is getting these two worlds to play nice. And that brings us perfectly to the second big piece of our puzzle, our constant human drive for development and the environmental costs that, well, often comes right along with it. Now, let's be clear, development itself is a good thing. I mean, it's all about improving our quality of life, building safer communities, and creating better opportunities for everyone. Who doesn't want that? But, and this is a huge but, that progress can't just be reckless. It has to be sustainable. What does that mean? It means we take care of our own needs today, but we do it without stealing from our kids and grandkids by using up all the resources or destroying ecosystems. It's about playing the long game. You see, true sustainability isn't just about the environment. Think of it like a three-legged stool. You need ecological health, that's one leg, but you also need social well-being for people, and a strong economy. Those are the other two legs. If you kick out any one of those legs, the whole thing just collapses. Because when you ignore that ecological leg of the stool, it sets off this disastrous chain reaction. It's not just about a pretty forest disappearing. It leads to bad investments, it hurts profits, it causes social unrest, and in the end, it just makes life worse for everyone. It's simply bad for business and bad for people. So, you're probably wondering, how on earth do we manage this incredible balancing act? Well, the modern solution is an approach called Integrated Natural Resource Management, or INRM for short. Think of INRM as a kind of structured, community-wide conversation. It's a framework that's designed to bring everyone who has a stake in a resource, we're talking local farmers, government officials, business owners, everyone, to the same table. The whole point is to find some common ground and figure out how to manage those resources together for the long haul. And the goals here are super practical, but also pretty ambitious. It's about increasing things like food production and profits, while, and this is the key part, at the very same time, protecting the natural resources that make all of that possible in the first place. It's not a choice between the economy or the environment. It's about finding a smart way to have both. Yeah, and this kind of success doesn't just happen by accident. It really requires a different mindset. It means looking at problems from all angles, building real partnerships, and this is so important, moving away from telling people what to do from the top down. It means finally recognizing that the local communities often know best. Okay, so let's see how this INRM thing actually works in the real world, at what's called the landscape level. This is where the rubber really meets the road. So what exactly is a landscape in this sense? It's so much more than just a pretty view from a hilltop. Think of it as a living, breathing system, a complex mosaic where forests, rivers, and wildlife are all interacting with farms, villages, roads, and our own culture. It's the whole interconnected picture. And when you look at it this way, the potential for conflict becomes crystal clear. Every single resource we rely on, from forest for wood to land for farming, is under pressure. And this leads to really tough issues, like human-elephant conflict as their habitats shrink, or water pollution from our farms. Our needs are often clashing directly with the needs of the ecosystem. So, how do we solve these conflicts? We can't just keep reacting to problems after they happen. We have to get ahead of them. We need to be proactive and actually design a better future. So let's look at how we can build a real, concrete plan for a sustainable landscape. A good plan always starts with good information. That means you combine secondary data, that's stuff you find in books, maps, and reports, with primary data, which is information you get directly from the community. You do this by talking to people, through interviews, and by using cool techniques like creating rich pictures, which are basically collaborative drawings that help everyone share their view of the landscape and its problems. Now, with all that information, we can start setting our goals. And what should those goals be? Well, they should look pretty familiar. They have to be balanced on those 3 pillars of sustainability we talked about: a strong economy that lifts people out of poverty, a protected environment that saves biodiversity, and a healthy, harmonious society. And a really solid plan has a clear, logical structure. It's like building blocks. You start at the top with a big, inspiring vision for the future. Then you break that vision down into high-level goals. Those goals get turned into specific, measurable objectives. And finally, you figure out the actual activities on the ground that will make it all happen. You know, after all the science and all the planning, it really just boils down to this one simple but incredibly powerful idea. In the planning process, all the stakeholders sit together and develop a plan for a landscape. That right there, that collaboration, is the absolute heart of making sustainable development real. But we have to remember, a plan on paper is just the beginning. This framework gives us the right tools, but actually making it a reality, well, that depends on every single one of us. So the real question is, what role are you going to play in the future of your landscape?